Hey, good morning, guys. So I'm going to give you my early take on the markets here. I like using anchor VWAPs to identify critical areas in the market. And this morning, if you go back to the day after Labor Day, Labor Day weekend, we came in that Monday morning. This right here, this dotted green line right here, that's where the anchored VWAP started from that point on. And we this morning here on the Qs, you can see we found immediate rejection right at that anchored VWAP. So basically, that week of just absolute carnage, we're seeing rejection right where we should see the rejection on the Qs on that anchored VWAP. So be very mindful of that. We might have hit a swing high. We are looking for a wave 4 down for a reset, for a possible wave 5 back up for an all-time high breakout. That's the primary scenario that we got going on here. We were also into the call wall for the current week, and we're rejecting away from that call wall this morning as well. So that's two things to think about this morning here happening in the markets. Heads up on that. Okay. Qs is acting the weakest this morning. The bad news came out on Apple. We had some good news on Intel, which has been left for a dog. Could have a short squeeze on Intel. Sales on the Apple new iPhone were down even worse than the last launch that they had last year. So, it's not good for Apple. There was something else to happen this morning, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Maybe it'll come to me here in a minute. Okay, SPY. So similar situation. Right here, we're currently hanging above that anchored VWAP on SPY. So that might become new support. So heads up on that. I would think here we are 20 minutes to go. We're probably going to open right here at the 560.68. So in my opinion, 560.68, they're probably going to open this right on that. Uh, Generally, if we open right on that, the bias should be a little bit more to the bearish side if we open the way I'm suspecting. So heads up on that possible weakness there, but we are within our inside our put wall and our call wall, so it's not it's not a slam dunk to be going directional today. Okay, on that. IWM, similar situation as that anchored VWAP from right after Labor Day. We came right up into it this morning. We're rejecting early on this morning. Heads up on that. So I like IWM on the short side this morning. So definitely keep this one on watch. See what happens if it plays out. Bottom line is, if you start accepting prices over the 418.11 or 218.11, if prices start to get accepted above that, of course you put your stop in. But I think it's a little bit more difficult today. You might want to buy more time and try to avoid the zero DTEs on your trading today. Diamonds this morning. Diamonds are on a tear this morning. We're right up here in these prior all-time highs. You go out here on the 4-hour here. This is our all-time high. We're right into it. We're double topping at an all-time high. Heads up, what those double tops mean. Opportunities are short. Well, that'd be an actual triple top. See, top, top, top. So a triple top. Triple tops, they worry me a little bit. So I would have much rather just came up, not had much of a pullback at all, came down consider that a technical double top scenario. So let's just definitely keep that on watch here. I mean, this is not something you really want to short. We're above that anchored, well above that anchored VWAP from after Labor Day. Okay, right there. So heads up on that. And that's despite Apple having bad news. Apple down $8 this morning here on Apple this morning. So heads up on that. Apple's getting creamed. So we're losing 2 weeks of support. We're losing a lot of support here on Apple this morning. Heads up on that. Right down here at range lows. This is not looking pretty for Apple. Really don't have any support yet. So this thing, down here is more, the 214.50 is actually a better supporting area potentially, if they want to come in here and try to buy the dip. But in my opinion, this is not supported yet on Apple to the downside. Other things I can talk about here. happening this morning. NVIDIA has the highest volume this morning. We're right into a massive call wall on NVIDIA this morning. So heads up on that. See if that I didn't update my lines yet. So heads up. Don't look at my lines. I haven't updated on the individual names this morning. I got up. Mother was in the hospital last night, so I got up late this morning. Okay. And I generally don't do individual names till the end of the week for 0 DTEs. I wait for some of the premium. That's just a personal preference. I wait for the premium to burn off early in the week, and then I'll trade them Thursday and Friday, the individual names. We're right into, but not breaking above the a massive call wall here at the 230 here on Tesla. You get above 230, this thing just takes off to the moon. So heads up on that. Oh, Palmolive. Palmolive, they got downgraded this morning. That was the other news I was thinking about. And there was another car company that BMW, I think, or something. They had doing $1 billion recall or something like that. Okay, Tesla. Let's see here, what else we got going on here? Microsoft's been a beast. We're into a massive call wall. Not really giving a whole lot back this morning yet, so heads up on that. Semis in general are pulling back. Heads up, NVIDIA, like I said, was into a massive call wall. But yeah, in general, one I was looking at this morning, you got AMD here. It's peeling back a little bit into the 150. 150 is a very major area here. One I was looking at this morning that looked like it was ready to break out. Micron, which has rejected this morning. If you go down on your smaller time frames, it came right up into that trend line yesterday or Friday, and it just rejected in a big way. Next week we do have earnings on Micron, but that's a big rejection here on Micron. It was setting up for a breakout, a earnings rally, and instead it completely got rejected this morning. Heads up on that. Other ones I'm looking at: AMD, NVIDIA, Tesla, Meta. Meta's right up here near all-time highs. Be mindful of that. So it's a beast. Meta is a beast. And how's that? I don't have the right ones on that, do I? Yeah, it's well above these anchored VWAPs. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, as long as you stay above the 520 area. Above 520, you got to stay long, Meta. Unfortunately. Google coming off of a major support. Did a back test. Right into, I got a channel here. We're right into that resistance. Anchored VWAP also could be a topping area here, potentially here for Google. Amazon's been a beast. See, is it trading above the 185? Yeah, still trading above 185. So, the bias has to be that they're going to try to support it. So heads up on that. Financials this morning. I did want to point that one out. I was watching this. You see this downtrending anchored VWAP this morning. Go down to smaller time frames. Really underperforming in the financials. There's that trend line right there. We're right into that trend line, trying to break above that trend line this morning on our financials. So I'm really thinking we might have some legs in financials today. So if they want to keep a bid in the market, financials would be where I'd be looking at. How's crude doing this morning? Crude or XLE would be another one I can look at. XLE. I didn't put XLE on here, did I? Sorry. XLE is doing pretty good here. So we got a little bit of bid in XLE this morning. Dollar is getting creamed this morning. So, at some point, the dollar coming down is going to be bullish for energy. Okay. And so be mindful of that. Let me put this. Let me see if we're crossing over that anchored VWAP or not. Got here 30-minute now. No, we're not even crossing over it yet. I generally like seeing the opening print actually already crossed if I'm going to be bullish on the sector. I don't like the idea of going into the open, still not crossing above that resistance. Any other ones standing out here? Yeah, XLK is the one that's really getting hit. I don't even have XLK on there, do I? Sorry about that, guys. Um, and there we go. Transports are taking a little bit of a hit this morning. Industrials holding up pretty good here. So heads up on that, your industrials. Oh, Boeing got spanked Friday. I think it's coming down lower. I am not touching it. There is a trend line lower if you draw it out. So I do think you're going to see 150 or lower here on Boeing. Massive, yeah, 150. Yeah, I just think you're coming lower. I don't even want to touch that to the long side. So that just gives you some ideas, some things I'm looking at right here. Ideally, based on what I'm looking at on the Qs and IWM, both have rejected RA this morning. My bias is to the short side, knowing that we have already rejected, but we've already come off on the Qs quite a bit. I'd be looking at IWM, yeah, has come off. Um, Almost $1 off that resistance. So even if a back test of that resistance, I would be trying to short scalp it. So heads up on that. Okay. Thanks a lot for listening. Please retweet me on Twitter. Like me if you like me. Leave some comments. I do like hearing feedback. So it really helps me out. Thanks a lot.